YouTube, and today we're going to be explaining the Tempo Blue Eyes deck that we've been featuring on our channel here. Quite a few people asked for the deck profile, so I'm kind of going to go into a bit more depth with it as well and explain the card choices a bit, and kind of give you a rundown of like how things are meant to be working and what the difference is between normal Blue Eyes and this Blue Eyes. So just to begin with, we play kind of like the full array of the big dragons here. And in addition to that, we play one Malefic. So the reason we play these ratios is obviously you have to play 3 alternative because it's kind of like your isolated play of the deck. You can just slam it and then get rid of a problem monster, and they like if they respond to that, it doesn't really ruin your other plays. So it's very powerful to use, and also you can loop it around with your stones to destroy multiple monsters. So it's probably one of the best cards in the deck. So you have to play 3 of that, and then the other mandatory card is obviously just the vanilla Blue Eyes White Dragon. And you want to be keeping as many of these as possible in your deck. That's very important. Like having these out of the deck is like not useful, but having them in the deck is very useful.
Why is that?
So the reason for that is obviously this card here, Malefic. So if you can keep as many in the deck as possible, you can kind of like just keep specialing out Malefic over and over again, and like keep reusing it with the stone. So you can special it out, synchro with it, and then add it back to your hand, and then just special it again. So keeping many of these in the deck like lets you special this more. And in addition to that, you need to keep as many in the deck for this card. Otherwise, you won't be able to use it anymore late game. So yeah, always keep these in the deck for as long as possible. The only time you really want to be grabbing them out is if you need to use trade in and you need to send a white stone. So yeah, kind of finally to talk about this card. A lot of people are running 1. The reason we run 2 is that it's kind of like this card is like your main kind of like advantage engine with your board. It like interacts very well with the 0 eyes and the stone, obviously. So if you only run 1, you're going to find yourself running out of targets in the deck a lot for this card, because you need to use all of your Blue Eyes for Malefic and the field spell, and then you won't have any targets left in the deck for your stones. So that's one of the reasons why we run 2, and then the other reason is obviously because we just need more vanilla targets without using our Blue Eyes. So if we need to have a monster to revive with a revival spell, which we pitch with Ravine, then we don't want to be sending a Blue Eyes to the graveyard because we need them all in our deck. So that's why we run 2 of these guys. It's probably one of the only cards you could cut down to 1 though. So if you need to cut a card for like a Max Zero Twin Twister, you cut one of these. Alright, so moving on to the tuners, we have 3 White Stone of Ancients. So this card is obviously the cold hard stones, pun intended. So yeah, this card is kind of like a really big advantage engine for the deck. So like you always want to be sending these every turn off your Ravines to get a monster out, and then in your next turn you want to banish it to bring back another like alternative or a Malefic. So it's kind of like what turns your Ravine into like this incredible like just grinding like unstoppable force, which like even BA can't outgrind you if you just keep a Ravine up and keep sending these stones every turn. So yeah, you must play 3 of this card. And to round out the stones, you play just 1 White Stone of Legend. It's kind of like just a hand fixing card, so you can send this off with your Ravine to make a trade in live, but you can also send off Ravine to make your alternative live. There's also a combo you can do with this card with Melody. So you basically summon your Sage, add this to your hand, and then Melody away the stone, and you can add Blue Eyes, Malefic, and alternative, and it lets you make like a lot of big plays with that. So yeah, really good card, but only 1 of. Next cards are kind of like they're not very commonly played. Maybe this one is played a little bit, but this one is never played. I have only seen it in the Worlds deck, and that's because it was a weird format. But this card is just whoa, yeah, it's crazy. It's got a really crazy interaction with Brilliant Fusion. Basically, it's any level 8 in your deck, if you want it to be. Also, if you have this guy and your Sage, it creates a miniature loop. You can just go Sage, add this to your hand, and then like if you have Mausoleum, synchro with this, and then summon this, and then add back Sage to your hand. And then when this leaves the field, you can summon back a level 8 dragon or your Spirit Dragon, and the next turn you just do the same combo. So it's like kind of like your version of Dante Sir. It's a little bit like more unorthodox, but it's still definitely so crazy. And the fact that this guy can bring back any Blue Eyes, so you can use like alternative twice in a turn, Spirit Dragon twice in a turn. It's just really powerful. And adding Master off Sage and then discarding this with Ravine to turn Sage into a Blue Eyes is just like really strong as well. So this card is basically just a combo piece that lets you make some pretty high tempo plays. And what I mean by tempo is just increasing the ceiling of the deck. So it's got a really good interaction with Ancient Fairy Dragons. So you can swap out your Ravine for the Mausoleum, special summon this card from your hand with the Ancient Fairy Dragons effect, and then send a Blue Eyes, and then special summon Blue Eyes from the graveyard deck, and you can make a Spirit Dragon. So this card's just, it's kind of like a one-off combo piece. You only need to run one, but it's a really powerful one, so you should definitely be running it. Next, probably like the card you want to see most in your hand, like no exceptions. If this card's in your hand, you're probably gonna like win the game as long as you have a field spell in your hand. It's like just like it's so insane. It starts off so many combos, and it like just gives you so much advantage. And you kind of like don't really need to question it. If you want to see those combos, just check it out on our YouTube videos on our like channel. There's heaps of them there, and they all involve using Sage. Next up, kind of like more tempo cards here. We play the 3 Brilliant Fusion and the Lazuli. This card, basically what we found is that the deck had a lot of problems with obviously the ceiling, and we needed more cards to break that, and Brilliant Fusion is kind of like the go-to card when you want to increase the ceiling of the deck, and it actually has a lot of crazy interactions with Blue Eyes. So you can trade in a Blue Eyes or a Spirit Dragon, and then just activate this, send something like Master, add back the Spirit Dragon, then like ditch that with Ravine to send a Stone, and then like use this effect in the graveyard, get rid of your Seraphonite, and then special summon the thing you just sent with Ravine, and it's just crazy. It creates like this like massive amount of advantage which your opponent just can't deal with. So Brilliant Fusion, if you draw that, you're hitting pretty good. You probably won't lose that game. It's very good. The next kind of like miniature engine here we play is 3 Terraforming, 1 Mausoleum, 2 Dragon Ravine, and then the target for Dragon Ravine is Koseska. So another big problem we had with the deck is you can open all your big guys, all your level 8s, which is fine, and it's pretty consistent to open them as well. There's lots of ways to get to them. But then we had no real way to search a tuner. Like we were like, man, really need a tuner here to make my Spirit Dragon and get my combos going. And we couldn't really find a solution until we kind of like thought, hey, we can just search a Dragoonity tuner with Ravine. So that's why we're playing the 1-up. It's really powerful. It really extends like a lot of combos by just being able to search this tuner and not having to hard draw it. So yeah, like it's actually involved in so many of the combos on our channel. So yeah, it's like a problem solver card. And then Ravine itself, as I said earlier, it just gets you so much advantage over like the course of the game. If they let you keep this, they just aren't going to win that game. Like they have to get rid of it ASAP, and it's actually pretty hard to do with all your effect negation, all your Spirit Dragons and disruption. So yeah, it's very good. And this is just purely a combo card. It's a bit like a searchable Brilliant Fusion, and you can use your Ancient Fairy Dragon to either swap this for this or this for that. And Ancient Fairy Dragon is like very easy to get out. Obviously, you just make Spirit Dragon, then you can just like make massive combos from there. So yeah, this engine is, I think it's completely mandatory that you have to play some Blue Eyes. It's so good. Next, this card doesn't really need too much explanation. It has really good interaction with Brilliant Fusion, and obviously the revival spells. It's kind of like just your like cycle card. So it's pretty strong. It's kind of like your version of the Lure of Darkness from the Dark decks. This card is basically just Rhoda. There's not much explaining to do here. Like, obviously just be smart with what you ditch. Try and get a few pluses off those ditches, like with Ancient White Stones and stuff. But yeah, not too much explaining. Next up, your revival spells. So obviously this card's I win the game, basically straight up if you go first or even second, to be honest. These 3 cards are like basically just extend your plays like a lot. And we wanted more of that, so we played 1 Silver's Cry. Obviously nowhere near as good as this, but we just really wanted like just one more card to extend our plays a little bit more. So the 1 of Silver's Cry. And if you don't know, with this card, it can stop any form of destruction. So battle, via traps, and even counter traps, because it's a replacement effect. So it gets destroyed and banished in the graveyard instead of your monster getting destroyed. So if they strike like a Spirit Dragon's effect and not the summon, then you can like use the replacement effect and then just like protect it. So that's the main deck, 40 cards. If you need to take cards out, as I said, so you can take out a White Spirit and probably take out the Silver's Cry for like some max Cs or some spell and trap removal if you're having trouble. So for the extra deck, we play a Sapphire Athenite, obviously for the Brilliant Fusion. And then next up we play Coral Dragon. This card is for like a combo, and also it interacts really well with like all the amount of tuners in your deck. So you basically make Coral Dragon with Sage and this, and then you add a Master, and then you synchro for Coral Dragon, discard a card, get rid of their board, and then you can summon the Master, add back the Sage, pitch the Sage on the Master, special summon a White Spirit Dragon, and then you can then use that Master in your graveyard to get rid of Coral Dragon, bring back another Dragon, and then draw a card. So it's really, really strong. Very good 2 cards combo here. I played 2 Spirit Dragon, although I want to play 3, I'm thinking now. It comes up a lot now that you're using so many combos. Like in the past, you kind of just like made Spirit Dragon pass, but now you're making 2 Spirit Dragons in your first turn, you're tagging one of them out for Ancient Fairy Dragon, and then your next turn you're tagging that one out for an Azura Rise, and then you're kind of like, you're left wanting more. So I'm definitely considering the third one, and if you come up with that problem as well, then I would recommend just putting a third one in, and I know exactly which card you'll take out as well. Next up, 2 Azura Eyes. This card is really, really powerful. It protects your board for 2 turns in a row, which is so strong. Against Magispector Kieran, it's very powerful. Against Vortex Dragon and Pendulums, it's very powerful. If you like see them add the Odd Eyes Fusion, you can kind of preempt it and then protect all your board from the Vortex effects and stuff, and then just use that. And then also it's very good against BA. It kind of like locks BA out of the game for like 2 turns straight. Like they really can't do anything apart from make like a Break Sword play and try and beat over it with a huge Rebellion Dragon. Next up we play 1 Moonlight Rose Dragon. This is kind of like your Spirit Dragon target for disruption. It's pretty good, because if you make Spirit Dragon with a Blue Eyes and a Master, you make the Spirit Dragon, tag out the Spirit Dragon for this, and then you use the Master's effect to destroy this, and then bring the Spirit Dragon right back. So it can't use its effect again, but it's still very good because you can lock them out of the Pendulum Summon and the Grave. Next up, probably arguably the best synchro to go into from your Spirit Dragon in your turn, apart from Azura Eyes obviously, is Ancient Fairy Dragon. I see a lot of people not even playing this. It's just, I can't even describe how many combos this opens up. I think it's in every single combo that we do almost. So yeah, this card is MVP. He's the real MVP. He trades the field spells, he does everything you want. Then obviously Crystal Wing, my mate's borrowing mine at the moment. So yeah, but Crystal Wing is obviously very easy to get to. It's your out to Chaos Max. And it's also the reason we don't pay like Chaos Max ourselves, because you can just make this and then bash over it, and it's like, what the hell was the point of like investing all my cards in that and ruining my consistency of my deck for a card that's so easily outed. So yeah, we play Crystal Wing, and we also play Titanic Galaxy. Same deal here. Friends borrowing it, but yeah, this card's kind of like a lockout card for spell heavy decks. Currently playing Felgrand because it's come up a few times. Although this is the card I would take out for the 3rd Spirit Dragon. It's pretty mediocre. There's a lot of outs to it now, and it's just been pretty subpar, to be honest. So I'd take that out for a 3rd Spirit Dragon personally. Alcei, he's basically like your rank 8 Castel, and sometimes you can sack pretty hard by calling the right name. He also triggers off other cards that send it to the graveyard as well, so you can kind of like use this effect to try and sack them by excavating and adding, and then use this other effect again still by sending like with Ravine or something. So very powerful card. You can also wall up behind his ass. He's got 3/2, so he's really good. Next is like the huge power play for the deck. Like it's massive. Obviously Cypher Dragon just came out. It's very good. I'll explain in a second. But these 2 cards, just 1-for-1 removal every turn if you want it, and obviously just plus really hard off this card. So you want to be sending Ancient Whitestone of Ancients if you haven't already, and either Malefic or Alternative, and then you can use that stone straight away and add either Malefic or Alternative to your hand and special summon it straight away. So that's really strong. With this card, if your opponent is playing anything with level 8 in the deck, you can steal it and then exceed with it. And if they're playing Exceed heavy deck, you just steal their Exceed, and then you can put either one of these over the top of it, because it's treated as an Exceed monster that is a Galaxy Cypher Dragon, so it basically fulfills the summoning requirements for this. So yeah, that's all. So basically, just in kind of conclusion, we've kind of like seen the problem with Blue Eyes as not having a high enough ceiling and not having enough plays in one turn, and we think we've solved that problem by adding all these kind of like big combo plays, like these like extensive kind of like removal plays, which you can see on our videos on our channel. But yeah, like you can build crazy advantage with this deck, and I definitely encourage you to try it out. It's much better and much more in depth, and kind of like better at grinding than the traditional version. So yeah, check out the channel.